Well, welcome. It is Wednesday evening. We're talking U.S. men's national team and how they, the bed last night. Lots to get to on that game as it was Switzerland who dominated the game 4-0. My word, that is not what we were expecting. We got a lot to get to on that game. I am absolutely furious with the players in that game. We're going to get to it. Brooks has a different point of view. We're going to talk about that. It's Brooks and I, Wednesday night. We are soccer. We're going to talk about the U.S. men's national team. We're talking about FIFA Club World Cup that starts and the $1 billion in prize money and where all that goes. We're going to talk about the games. Are you guys interested in that? Are you interested in the World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup? Oh, and by the way, we are 1 year to the day away from the actual World Cup here in 2026 in USA. I am excited about that. 1 year away. It's coming home! All right, we got lots to get to. Let's jump in. Let's go.
What? And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends. Winner!
Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
He does things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
All right, welcome. It's U.S. men's national team talk. We're talking about that game last night in Nashville, USA versus Switzerland. I'm pissed off. Sorry, kids. I'm a little upset about that. I'm a little upset about some of the effort. I'm a little upset that I don't think Pochettino knows his best 11 yet. I've got a lot to get to. But before we jump in and really get to that, why don't we welcome in Brooks. Brooks, how are you, buddy? You doing all right? You got some different views than I do, don't you?
I do have definitely some different views.
That's all right. It's good.
May upset people.
That's okay.
They may be like, yeah, all the ones that are fired up and upset and disappointed. I'm cool your horses there, people.
All right.
Hold on. You'll be okay.
Brooks has been doing some research today. He's got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about the players, a lot to talk about the setup and everything like that. Do us a huge favor, fellas, guys and girls. You see this little chat box right here. Put your comments in there. Let us know what you think of the U.S. men's national team in the game last night. Switzerland absolutely took it to USA right off the bat. Listen, there's no let's get to it real quick. Let's jump in. If we're being really honest, just looking at the stats alone, Brooks, it was not exactly a mauling from the stats standpoint. There was 49% possession for the USA, 51% possession for Switzerland. Shots on goal, 7-0, Switzerland.
Yep.
Shots attempts in total, 12-7, Switzerland. Yep. Fouls, 8 on the USA, 10 on Switzerland. Yellow cards, 3-2, USA winning that battle. Corner kicks, 7-1, Switzerland, and saves. Switzerland's goalkeeper didn't even have to make a save during this game. Turner made 3, and I think right now Olympic Lyon have turned off their phone, and they are not answering the phone when Crystal Palace called to get that deal done because he did not play well, in my opinion. All right, let's jump in. Listen, this was a predominantly, we'll say, MLS roster.
Usually is
for Gold Cups, and we got some graphics to show that in a little bit here that you put together. So that's good. There are people, that first half, there are a lot of people out there just saying the effort wasn't good enough. The effort wasn't there. I think there's a couple of things going on here, Brooks.
Yep.
One, I don't think the effort was there. And two, I just don't think these players are quite up to speed with the game at this level. Some of those players are so new to this stage, they're just not used to it. They're just not comfortable with it.
Don't disagree. I don't disagree.
All right, give it to me. What are your thoughts?
There are, I'll start his name with you. Nathan Harriel, crap. Like
yeah, he was bad. He got diced
He got
several
diced.
times.
He's not like he's a borderline MLS USL championship player.
100%.
He's just an academy kid that the Union are forcing to play because it's the Union, and they invest and there's politics at that club, and they just want to put players through and say, hey, look at us, look what we do. We treat our own and we sign them, and our coach has to deal with it. And
So how does Pochettino pull him in to this?
well, hold on, I'm not done yet. Hold on a
I
second.
mean, he was bad. He was.
He
very
was.
bad.
He was. He's not coming back. He's not playing. Like we're just going to take right now. He'd rather play someone else 90 minutes or more or whatever. He'll put another player there. You can put Brendan Aronson back there. He'd be fine.
Okay.
Quinn Sullivan. He was horrible in the U20s a couple years ago. I remember watching him play with all the hype. He's gotten better at Philadelphia Union. There's been talks of him going to Europe. I don't think that's a thing.
No.
He's an average MLS player at best. Listen, he has a little brother that's coming up that everyone's talking a lot about. I think this is a good sign of not to believe the hype and what everyone shares on social media and everything. You got to give this time, and you got to watch the kid play.
Agreed.
Cardoso is not good enough. I don't care if he's at Real Betis. I don't care if he's in La Liga. His agent must be super good at convincing people and tricking people and that he's really good, or he's just really good for the Spanish game where he's just simple and can play sideways and backwards and doesn't lose the ball because maybe they don't press as much. Listen, like everyone can't be Busquets. Busquets was a master at not being the most athletic player.
Not going to disagree with you there.
Not being the most athletic player, but could play sideways, backwards, and then turn and play forward. He just had vision like no one other.
Okay. Yeah, he wasn't good enough, and
Correct.
you've not liked him for a while.
No,
You just
I've
don't
never
his
liked
style
him.
of play.
De La Torre has just turned a little bit for me. Paxton Aronson has been in a few times. He is not of the quality. He will probably be back in MLS or USL Championship at some time. He will get dumped by his European club. He's at FC Utrecht right now. I don't know if he's on loan, if he's still with the Bundesliga. Mark McKenzie was horrific. He's in League One.
Yep.
He's a step slow.
good enough.
He's not fast enough. Listen, another Union kid. So everyone I've named, and besides Cardoso, has been a Philadelphia Union kid. So,
Okay.
what are we looking at here? Matt Turner was not good. And I think if you're going into the first game, what are you thinking, Pochettino? He was pretty horrific. I mean, the fourth goal was not his, upper 90. There's no way you're saving that.
You know what though? I'm gonna I don't want to defend him at all, actually.
Sure.
But he did get a hand to it. He got a touch to it, and they do say as a goalkeeper, if
Yeah.
you get a hand to the ball, it
Yeah.
shouldn't go in the net.
Correct.
Now, agreed. That was a phenomenal shot. That first goal though, down low and hard. That's a tough one. The ball was scooting. Ball was moving, by the way.
It was deflected through. I mean, listen, Paxton
Through ball was
Aronson
deflected.
didn't close down enough. And when you don't close down quick enough in space, this is what happens.
Can we, before you go on,
Sure.
100%, I think you just nailed it.
Yeah.
And that is the part right there
Yeah.
that people are saying the effort. The effort wasn't there because there was no closing down anywhere.
Correct.
Now, you saw it at the start of the second half. Pochettino made several changes,
Yeah.
and changes to guys who maybe are closer to being starters for the Gold Cup and closer to being starters for the 2026 World Cup, right? So you brought in a couple of players who've been on this level before. You could just instantly see.
Yeah.
The pressing and the work and the when to press and how to press as a unit was there. Switzerland in the second half, the start of the second half, they didn't really have to go after the game, right? They knew they
No.
were pretty much going to win. But at that point, you could see them get a little bit stifled. There was a couple times the ball went back to the goalie. He knocked it out of bounds to try to get rid of it because
Yep.
the USA was pressing as a team back and forth. In the first half, that just was not there. Now, I don't understand how it wasn't there because some of these players, that's their first, second, third, fourth, or fifth cap.
Well,
So it's a chance to step on the stage that everybody in the world is watching, and that's how you perform?
correct. Well,
Not good.
it's like what we've been knocking on all these former U.S. men's national team guys. I will say this: when DeMarcus Beasley, and the other commentators, Brian Dunseth and Martino and Howard, this is your chance to shine. And DeMarcus Beasley hit on the head. You may not get 90 minutes. You may get one 45-minute half, and that is to prove
in your U.S. men's national team career.
Correct.
You've got to work.
And that is to prove if you are good enough for the U.S. men's national team. And if you're not willing to work in that 45 minutes, get the hell out of here.
And there are several
because
players.
Christian Pulisic and all those other guys are the same stuff that the guys don't want to play with.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. Those guys probably watched the game this morning and they went, "What the hell was this?"
Yeah.
I don't want to step on a field with a guy who's not going to work and press with me or work for the team. But here's the thing, Brooks. Professional soccer players, when they get to this level, they work because they do understand that they may never get this chance again.
Yep.
Does some of this fall to the coaching? Does some of this fall to the staff who hadn't prepared some of these young kids who were 19, 20, 21, 22 years old for this game and told them how to press together and how they want them to press?
To me, it's not a tactic thing. Here's where I think Pochettino feels at fault. And it's been brought up numerous times by different journalists and people. The biggest fault he didn't make, and some pundits like Dempsey have said it, there's not an American on the staff that knows the player pool. Inside U.S. soccer, soccer in general nowadays is very political. It's very agent-driven. It's very money-driven. I think Pochettino said, I have my scouts. They've been doing this for a long time. Why do I need to not trust them? And I think if you brought someone in like Tab Ramos, who's been very familiar with the player pool for a very long time and knows a lot of people and can find the right information to get, I think that's where Pochettino is kicking himself on taking fault and maybe some in the tactics, maybe for sure. Maybe now he feels like we have to play 3 back with this group.
Sure.
For sure I could see that. But for me, I think that's where Pochettino's kicking himself is maybe I should have added like a Tab Ramos or someone else that can get more of this information, because I'm sure he's calling these clubs. He's probably calling Union. You don't send me that crap anymore, man. You don't send me this BS that you've given me. You know what I mean? And he's telling Turner's agent he needs to play somewhere. You know what I mean? It's obvious. He said that before, but he's like, no more. For these next, I predict for these next ones after this Gold Cup, there will be certain people he will call in. He will not go back to certain people, and there's certain people he's only going to trust.
Yep.
And I think he will get a better feel coming in September in the next friendly windows for this group. This is why I'm not worried. This group needs to prove which one of the ones, if they're 9, 8, 10, how many guys you ever want to see that need to fit in with the 2026 World Cup team? Or maybe less than that, could be 5 or 4.
I'm going to guess 5 or 4.
It could be, because I think there's a lot of international guys like Ada Morrison, Trusty, and Carter Vickers that'll get called in and they'll get their chance and everything. But of these domestic lads and these young guys, you don't have a lot of shots. And the reality is you've shown what you've had for Pochettino. You don't work, you're done.
This is an embarrassment in my opinion. It's an embarrassment to lose to Turkey 2-1 on your home soil, and then 3 days later lose 4-0 to Switzerland.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about this on the Sunday show. Switzerland and Turkey they're okay teams.
Sure.
They're okay. They're good. Let's put it that way. Turkey had a good run in the Euros.
Sure.
Switzerland had a good run as well. They played really well. They got some really good players. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But if there's anything to go by, it's the FIFA rankings, and nobody likes the FIFA rankings. We don't believe them. But if we have to go by something, USA is ahead of both of those nations.
Yeah.
I think we are certainly outplayed by Switzerland. At large points in the game against Turkey, we were outplayed, but probably just lucky not to at least draw on that one. But this is a huge concern for me because I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Pochettino was a club coach.
Sure.
He did some really nice things at Southampton. He proved that he could put players who are unknown and kind of average players into good spots, get them to perform, and move up the league and do something good. He had a couple of players sold from his club to Liverpool for large numbers. He had a couple of other players sold that he purchased and then sold for a lot of money.
Yep.
And then he made the move, right? He went to Tottenham, and he did really well at Tottenham, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
He got them to a Champions League final, lost in the final, unfortunately. He went to PSG. He did okay there. There was some issues, right? Yep. He was at Chelsea. I thought he should have been given another chance at Chelsea. They went for Maresca instead. But everybody he's played for, everywhere he's been, they love him, and he does really well. So
he's very well respected.
He's very well respected, but he's a club coach because he can every single day on the training pitch, work with those players. This is what I want. This is how I want it. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, we don't have what we need. I have a January window. I have a summer window. I can bring those players in. And he's been at, like I said, Chelsea, Tottenham, PSG. If they don't have what they need, guess what they do? Spend a lot of money and go out and get what they need. Can't do that here at the USA. I'm wondering right now if he's looking in the mirror going, did I make the wrong decision coming here to the USA? Because this is a completely different ball game. You can't just go buy players. You're stuck with what you got. And I don't think he knows really the depth of what he has. And I'm thinking at this point, Brooks, I'm going to give it the Gold Cup because we got Trinidad and Tobago coming up. We got Saudi Arabia coming up. And Haiti.
Yep.
If we can't get wins in all three of those games, I don't care with who you roll out there. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm done. He took some flack last night. Pochettino did, because there were some prominent soccer people who we know here in the state of Michigan who were like, does this guy have any idea what he's doing? And it's embarrassing because we are 1 year away today from the start of the World Cup, and we are all expecting, at the minimum, a quarterfinal berth. That is what we're expecting. Anything more than that, we're going, yes, that's where we need to be. We need to be in the semis or the quarter semis. We need to be there. I don't see it happening, man. Yeah. I don't see it happening.
For me with Pochettino, I think he can coach international soccer. That's not a thing. I think the shocker to him, which Kyle Martino hit the point home last night after they interviewed Zimmerman last night. I don't know if anyone watched that interview, and then they were talking after. It's the entitlement factor with the U.S. player. It's the entitlement factor that you've always been the guy. You've never had to dealt through harsh stuff. I mean, there's been the past couple of days where a lot of the men, like especially Clint Dempsey, he's doing the stuff with the Men in Blazers now, and he's got his podcast with that guy. And, you know, Clint talks about, like, when I was growing up as a kid, my parents worked 2 jobs. I had to literally go train myself. My parents drove me to Dallas twice a week to play matches. I'm like, no one's gotten any grit anymore. And I have always said this with the current MLS Next players, the majority of them, whether you play for an MLS academy or you play for a non-MLS academy, they have no grit. They have no will to go get the game, to go punch people in the mouth, like not figuratively, not like actually.
If that's what it takes, that's
go
what
win
it
the
takes
ball.
to win a game. Yeah.
You know, what do you do on your own? Like, everyone's entitled. Like, once you have the spot, like you're given it, and it's not taken away because someone's gonna sue the club or like take the kids somewhere else, and everyone's afraid to leave. Or you're in an MLS academy and there's a billionaire, you know, pushing players through or whatever, and there's politics going on, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why he hit it home. It's entitlement, and I don't think Pochettino understood the entitlement factor with the Americans, because I think there's entitlement in other countries, but not as much as there is here.
And that's what's going to kill this, because I don't think he can coach that out of players.
You can't. You can pick the right ones that are gritty, hopefully, but like you may not get the full squad that's the most talented. But that's okay. I'd rather take all of them that are not entitled.
Let's go back to a Christian Pulisic, right?
Yes.
Why did Christian Pulisic at the age of 16 years old want to move to Germany? Why did he want to go to the Bundesliga? Because one of the things I remember him saying, I think this was in his book, he said, listen, if I when I was here, 14, 15 years old, I had guys who were catering to me. They were, you know, giving me everything I wanted me, telling me I was a superstar. Yep. I went to Germany at 16 years old, and I was forced to clean boots. I had to clean the boots of the senior level players.
Did you see the documentary?
Give a crap who he was. That's why he went there. And you know what? When he steps on the field, he shows that, as do some of the other players. Those players last night, they thought, I've made it. Look at me.
Exactly. Nothing can go wrong. There's no repercussions from how I play. Did you watch his documentary?
I haven't yet.
It's very good. And he goes very much into how lonely he was and how he had to work through things.
Sure.
None of these players, like, I get some have traveled across the country to go to MLS academies. Some have stayed home and close. But they've never
treated like superstars.
Exactly. They've always been the guy.
Right.
15, 16, 17, 18 into the second team. Okay, I got to wait a little time, you know, but I'm still going to start in the second team, and then I'm going to get in the first team, and I know I have a spot. Like, that's just how it is with a lot of these kids, and it's not real.
Agreed. I think we're all on the same page there. One of the things I am a little upset about is, though, this was Pochettino's chance to really bring in some players to take a look at. I don't think he picked any of the right players. I think he's picking players that as you said, maybe he's leaning on some of his other people, but
Could be the Federation
Could
back
be,
here,
but
but he'll figure it out.
he has to. He's got a year, and not a ton of opportunity,
Yeah.
not a ton of opportunity to figure it out, and not a ton of opportunity once he has figured it out to work with those players.
Mhm.
Because when at the highest level of the game, at the absolute highest level of the game, it's the fine margins that
Correct.
win
The
games.
small, not closing down, not making a certain pass, turning your body one way to play forward.
Bingo. Not pressing from the left, but pressing from the right. Not pressing hard enough. Not having your teammate close enough when you do press.
Not
It's
checking
those-
your shoulder.
Not checking your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's the little things. And if we don't have 2 or 3 players doing the little things when we go to play in the World Cup matches, we may not get out of the group stage.
Yeah.
And we're paying $6 million a year for a top coach, right? And it will have been an absolute failure.
Correct.
And we will be embarrassed. It'll be just a complete embarrassment. And right now, we're almost there because of the way we've played in the last couple of weeks. He's lost 4 games in a row. Not good performances. Gold Cup starts this weekend. First game against Haiti. I believe it's Haiti.
The first one's Trinidad.
Trinidad and Tobago.
And then
Second
Saudi
game is
Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Now everybody's going to go, oh, Trinidad and Tobago. We've beaten them several times.
They beat us.
They've beaten us as well.
They've given us good games.
And Saudi Arabia, guess who they beat in the very first game of the last World Cup? Argentina.
Yes.
Yes, they beat Messi-led Argentina.
Yes.
So on the day, they can win a game. And then Haiti. And who knows what happens there.
Yeah.
So, there's some worry here. I'm giving him these 3 or 4 games, provided they can get out of the group and play an extra game or 2.
Yeah.
But after that, if it doesn't look good and it doesn't feel good, I'm off the Pochettino train and I'm done with it.
Yeah, I just want to, you can run through the graphics
All right.
I made. It's just, so I'll just kind of explain as Craig's getting this up. So what I did today is I was just curious, like, everyone's like, oh, what, Pulisic and McKennie and everyone. Well, everyone's got to remember, there's always these summer competitions that, the ICF and everything that the guys come back and play for, and the clubs don't let them go. And, the FIFA Club World Cup is the new one this year, and guys take rest. But I was curious, like, what's been the percentages and the breakdowns of the MLS players compared to? And I didn't, there were some years where multiple MLS teams sent clubs, but I just went overall, like how many were represented, and then how many.
Let me, if I can assess
go for it.
this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So here's the players, your goals, defenders, midfield, forwards, and then the clubs represented. Clearly, you've got the European or non-American, non-MLS clubs represented on the top lines, and then MLS clubs or American clubs on the bottom line.
That was for that graphic. It was kind of vice versa the other way.
Okay,
But
so you can see there are more MLS clubs here
Yes.
represented than there are European clubs. So,
Yeah.
but for a lot of people last night, they thought this is a predominantly U.S. MLS roster. Clearly, Brooks,
this one is one of the more ones that's got more European
is
guys in it.
clearly not, right?
Correct.
Okay, so
Because if you go in further years, it's interesting.
I was about to say, let's click to 2023. Here is your 2023 roster, Brooks.
Yep.
There you go, clubs represented. Look at that. There's way more MLS.
And look and they got, they lost the semifinal to Panama, and we know that was a shocking game.
Right.
But, look at, Turner had played Arsenal for that point. Gaga was loaned out to Chelsea, and now he's pretty much nowhere now. He's done horribly. Georgi Mihailovic was at AZ Alkmaar, and there are other guys in here that were at other places and whatnot. But, that was a majority MLS team with guys that were called in this time, like DeJuan Jones, but he had to leave for injury this year. And Sean Johnson's been inconsistent with Matt Turner. And, this team wasn't bad.
And like you said, there you go. Lost 5-4 in PKs in the semifinal, strange game. But there you go, majority. Let's click to 2021.
Yeah.
So here's your 2021. 4 players
from Europe.
Yep. Majority of the others from the MLS. And Gold Cup champions, 1-0 win over Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was the one where the dramatic, where Miles Robinson, the cross in and boom, and
okay.
So
this, what you're
that was Nations League.
What you are, what you're showing me here is that
they can win with MLS players.
Win with
MLS. The right ones.
The right put together, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna say something at the end of this segment.
Yeah, that's fine.
But what it's showing is with the right players,
Yes.
MLS players, the right players in here, you can win.
Correct.
You're noticing people like Gianluca Busio,
like
who's moved on, obviously, at
to
this
Venezia,
point. But Costa.
Look at the commonality if you look at all these ones.
What players who work?
Paul Arriola. If he wasn't injured, Paul Arriola may be in this group again.
They're players who aren't afraid to get hurt. They're not afraid to tackle and put in the work.
Yep. Jordan Morris, Jazzy Zaris is a common one. Christian Roldan has been in like 3. If Seattle probably wasn't in the Club World Cup, maybe Roldan would have got called in again. And Jackson Reagan.
Okay.
You know?
Let's go to 2019.
Yeah.
Here you go. He's in 2019. So you have a couple more. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 European clubs represented. Cup and obviously 4 more than that. So you've got 9 and 10 there MLS clubs, and they finished second place, lost 1-0 to Mexico in the final here. So again, MLS players,
the right ones.
getting the job done.
Daniel
the right
Lovitz, like if you look at it, Daniel Lovitz plays for Nashville. Very hard. I think he was at Montreal at the time. Very hard worker. Gets up and down. Gets stuck in. Walker Zimmerman playing for LAFC. Gets stuck in. He showed the same thing the other night. I thought he was one of the better center backs. Him and Tim Ream, and then McKenzie was all right. But Nick Lima gets stuck in. Aaron Long, asshole, loves to get stuck in and tackle people. Reggie Cannon's fallen off the map. Omar Gonzalez, when he was in his prime, he could do that. Dwayne Holmes has fallen off. I know people weren't a Bradley fan, but like Bradley would get stuck in, and you could rely on him. Will Trapp was tough too. That's a young Christian Pulisic with Chelsea. Christian Roldan was younger with Seattle. You know, Tyler Boyd in his heyday when he was doing well and everything. But like, hard workers.
Hard workers. All right, last one, 2017, CONCACAF Gold Cup champions beating Jamaica 2-1 in the final.
This is at Bruce Arena.
And here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11 or 12 there. MLS teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 non-MLS teams, players representing here. So,
sorry, this is Klinsmann, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's the right type of players.
It is. And listen, I wasn't a Joe Corona fan. Dax McCarty, I know you're not. You're
not
like,
fan, but
hard worker.
But he got the work done.
He did.
Now, I am not a fan of Dax McCarty, but you put him next to the right players, or the two players who are creative
like a Kellen Acosta
around him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do your job, Dax. Win soccer balls. Yeah. Please pass it to someone else who can see the game better.
Play simple.
Done.
You're good.
Put him in there. That's fine. Yeah. We could have used someone like him last night.
Exactly.
Because in the first half, there was no one laying tackles.
I think Berhalter would have been the guy. I think he was nervous. He had a better second half, but he is the one. Aidan Morris would have been the filler of that group that would have got stuck in and not cared. But forwards, like that's when Dom Dwyer was scoring goals left and right. Agudelo was fine back then. Jazzy Zaris was hitting in goals. Morris was getting stuck in, again, the back line, like, Lehigh was over at Nottingham Forest, but Hedges, tough guy, winning balls in the air. Matt Beasler playing for SKC. Jorge Villafania was coming off, an MLS Cup a few years ago with Portland. He was at Santos Laguna at that point. Graham Zusi, tough as nails guy, and was a big guy that helped with the World Cup before then. So like, again, hard workers. I mean, I don't love Joe Cronin in this group, but if you probably put everyone else in there, they were dying for the sleeve and the badge,
Right. And that's what we're hearing, Brooks, from the old guys who are trying to stay relevant.
Yes.
The Landon Donovan, the Tim Howard, the Clint Dempsey, the Kyle Martino, the Beasley. Yeah. They're trying to stay relevant by putting these words out there. But they're not wrong in a lot of the sense, because a lot of these guys, you showed up yesterday and showed up against Turkey, aren't willing to get dirty and put their head on the line. We've all seen pictures of John Terry and Rio Ferdinand, bloody head. But what do they do when someone's taking a shot? Put whatever they can in front of the ball to block that shot and make it legal.
Yes.
Didn't see that from anybody, not a single one. No one went into a crunching tackle. They were beaten to every ball.
It wasn't until they got frustrated at the end when they started to actually go at people like Cardoso and Ajiman. Yeah. And I did say Ajiman was a fraud. He did change up a little bit with the physicality. He was up front. Unfortunately, I don't think Brian was paired. Luna came in and changed the game a bit.
Luna came in, but he worked hard, just a little out of his depth with the creativity and the work.
Sure. But no one was getting wide for him when he was trying to switch. No one released and got wide. Harrell was horrible at that, trying to release at times. Tolkien was getting used to it again.
Sure.
But yeah.
I mean, God, Brooks, I don't even know what to say anymore, but it was bad. I'm embarrassed, and it needs to get better. 3 games against decidedly worse teams coming up here, so hopefully get back on track.
So for me, like, I can live with the 2-1 loss. I don't like how the goals were scored. If they were two legit goals, I would be like, okay, they lost 2-1.
Yep.
But the silly turnover with Cardoso to lead to the first one. I mean, listen, the second goal was banged back in. It was banging around and then found someone. But like this 4-0 loss, like if we had lost 3-1 on 3 good goals and we scored 1, or 2-0 and there was 2 good goals, I could live with that.
Yeah.
But not when it's just
But not a
lackadaisical.
single shot on goal either.
Correct.
And just you were really looking at the lineup before going, okay, all
Maybe
right.
there's something.
Maybe
We
there's
got some
something
new
here.
guys.
There's some guys who want to come in and fight and bleed and really show something for these colors.
Yep. And I felt bad for Brendan Aronson because if he had not switched the formation to probably the 3-back, he probably would have stayed. Because him and Arfston, I thought were fine on the left side in that first half.
Sure.
They were creating stuff. We didn't get much from the right side, but
I just disappointing to say the least.
Mhm.
The last thing I'll say is, can we get Greg Berhalter back in? I don't think this would have ended up 4-0 if Greg Berhalter was there. He would have picked the right players. You know, I don't think that's the answer. Let's put it that way. But kidding aside, just a giant embarrassment. And the only thing you can do is put it behind you. Now, I think Mauricio Pochettino is going to be walking back the words he said a couple of weeks ago, where I think USA can win a World Cup in the next 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
I think he's going to look at last night's game and go, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have opened my mouth, and we're not close. We're not close as a nation.
Hard for him.
Switzerland.
Hard for him to say that, though. I mean, I think he's trying to be positive. But I
agree.
think he quickly found out how in training we look very good, but when it comes to a game time where we have to man up, that's the thing. In training we all look great, but then when we have to man up and become men and take things by the balls, a lot of them can't do that.
A lot of them shirk away and hide.
They don't want the glory.
Yeah.
They don't want to be Michael Jordan or like the old school great athletes.
Oh, they might want it, but they're not willing to work and put their head on the line for it.
Exactly.
Right? So 100%.
They're not willing to be enough of an asshole to do it.
Well, Brooks, I think we can close down this little segment and say we'll wait till next week to see where the U.S. men's national team is at. Because, listen, if they lose to Trinidad and Tobago, the pitchforks and the fire sticks are going to be out for Pochettino.
Yeah.
Brooks?
I think he's only going to rotate of the 26.
What
He's
happens?
only going to rotate like 16 of them.
What happens if they go 1 win and 2 losses in the Gold Cup first 3 games?
They don't get out of the group. That's not
But
good.
what happens to the Federation and Pochettino?
I mean, you invested money in this guy. You can't just get rid of him. Who's going to want to come in at the last second?
There'll be people.
Bruce Arena's busy at San Jose. What, are you going to get Bob Bradley back?
Yeah. Oh, hey! I'd rather have Brad Bobley.
I mean, I like Bob as a coach.
I don't mind him, but I think
he would instill culture, and I think he's very respectable, and he's not going to play favorites to people.
I don't think we have to worry about it. I think no matter what happens, the Federation will stick around and stick with Pochettino, so it is what it is.
Yep.
All right, we got a lot of other things to get to as we put a bow on this one here. We're going to talk FIFA Club World Cup, which is starting in a couple of days here. We're going to talk about the $1 billion prize money that's going to be handed out. And where exactly is the breakdown? How's that broken down? What happens? Who's getting that amount of money? There is a rumor that teams are getting more money than what they are shown right now. There's a rumor out there that Chelsea got $80 million to be involved in this.
Not shocked.
Not shocked at all.
Shocked.
So we're going to get to that right after this.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Ugh.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump. Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh? Oh.
Mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
All right. Are you excited for the FIFA Club World Cup? And if you are, you're probably one of the only ones out there.
I saw a lot of people. I saw this one lady on X. I responded with a bunch of laughing emojis. She's like, and there was like a story of like, hey, the World Cup's coming, or FIFA Club World Cup's coming. Are you excited? And she was like, no, because the games are on a Tuesday at noon when I have to work and I can't get away to see my favorite club. And I think she wanted to watch like Dortmund because I think she's a Bundesliga fan.
Okay. Oh, Nate's new best friend, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. But she's right. Like,
Yeah.
who's excited for a weekend noon game where you can't get into? I mean, it's just like, yeah.
All right, so if anybody's really wondering, the FIFA Club World Cup starts this Saturday. Overall, there's 32 teams competing in it. There's $1 billion in prizes, 63 matches in total. Starts on the finals. Excuse me, the finals are on July 13th. So essentially, it goes for 1 month. So the FIFA Club World Cup in 2025 will offer a record prize pool of $1 billion. With a significant portion allocated to performance-based rewards. The winning team will receive $40 million. The finalists, essentially the second place team who live in the final, will receive $30 million. Semi-finalists will each receive $21 million. Teams also earn $2 million for a group stage win and $1 million for a draw.
So I'm trying to figure it out. If you got to the end, you're not winning the billion, obviously. That's the billion.
No,
That's
billion's the total.
It's the total with
it's
everything.
the breakdown. It's the breakdown.
So you get 40 million if you win. You get 30 million if you're. So that's 70 million right there, right? Okay.
Something like that. So
I would say that, yeah. And then it's what 21 million. So that's 91. Then you get 2. So you probably can almost earn 200 million, which is, I would imagine, somewhere in the mid 100 millions. So that's enough to buy a decent player if you're a big club.
I mean, listen, we're going to talk about Liverpool and what they've just spent, 150 million on Florian Wirtz.
Yeah.
And rumor is they're going after Isak from Newcastle.
Wow.
And where else were they going? They were going after PSG star Barcol as well. They could spend close to 300 million.
This is very on Liverpool. Like they don't did that.
I know. All right, so here it is. There's 32 teams. I mean, the only teams you guys probably really care about: Inter Miami are in Group A against FC Porto, Al Hilal, and Palmeiras. Group B: Atletico Madrid, Botafogo, PSG, and Seattle Sounders. Group C is Auckland City, Benfica, Boca Juniors, Bayern Munich. Group D is Chelsea, who absolutely deserve to be in this because they won all. God knows how they got in. Welcome to the FIFA Club World Cup, everybody. Esperance Sportive de Tunis, no idea who the F that is. Flamengo and LAFC, that's Group D. Group E is Internacional, Monterrey, River Plate, and Urawa Red Diamonds. Group F, Borussia Dortmund, Fluminense. Say what?
And the Red Dragons.
They are, well, it's Red Diamonds.
Oh, okay.
It is Red Diamonds.
Yeah.
Group F, Borussia Dortmund, Fluminense, Mamelodi Sundowns. I'm going to guess that is a...
Could be like an Indian
or Australian team, the Sundowns? I don't know. And then you've got Ulsan Hyundai.
That's the Korean team.
Korean team.
Yep.
Group G, Al Ain, Juventus, Manchester City, Wydad AC. No idea who that is. Group H, Al Hilal, RB Salzburg, Pachuca, and Real Madrid. Now, why are all of these teams bringing their star players? Because of the prize money. Why did Real Madrid, who could have gotten Trent Alexander-Arnold in a month for free, go ahead and pay Liverpool an extra $10 million? They wanted to get him out of the contract, get him into the team here, and hopefully win some additional money. They get out of the group stage, they've already made that money back plus some.
What if he gets injured?
Well, then they're stupid. So I am not in any way whatsoever interested in watching this. I just cannot be bothered because it's a money grab.
The only thing I will watch is when the match when LAFC has to play Chelsea. That's what I'm curious about because this is a thing for MLS to go try to punch some teams in the mouth, especially for the ones that want to bring players over and win this thing.
Brooks, you are a really effing smart man. Oh, crap. Now you've got me involved.
That's the only ones I really care about Maybe the Japanese team is the Red Dragon, the Red Diamonds is maybe the only one.
Nope.
I don't know. But Man City didn't bring Grealish.
No, so Grealish and Kyle Walker left at home, which
Yeah.
means they are looking for new homes, essentially.
Correct. That's
All right,
why.
Here's
Yes. The MLS teams only, though.
Here's what a bunch of us have been saying for the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
So I will say,
Yep.
I'll give you an example. Aston Villa came to the USA last year and did some warm-up games, right?
Mhm.
They played Red Bull. They lost. They played Columbus Crew. Aston Villa lost 4-0 to Columbus Crew.
Yeah. But it was all their backups and their academy kids.
Aston Villa played.
Or did they bring their
didn't
guys?
have the full squad. Let's put it that way. Like Emiliano Martinez wasn't there. We're playing some different players. It's a jog around. It's our first games back.
That's true.
We're implementing a new system.
You're not 90-minute fit.
We're just implementing this.
Yeah.
Now, what I always tell people is English teams come here in the summer to warm up games. They're friendlies. They really do not care about the results.
Correct.
So you're never going to see a game where they care about our results against an MLS team until this summer. You said it. When Chelsea play LAFC,
It's what everyone's waiting for.
Chelsea are going to go, we need to win this game because we need $2 million. So get the hell out there. This is an actual game.
It's not just that. It's an So it'll be an embarrassment.
Going to get embarrassed.
Everyone in England's going to be like, you just lost to and I love MLS, but you're going to get a lot of shit for it
If
you lose.
Brooks, we're going to do some bets this summer on these games because I think a team like Chelsea could blow out.
Did you know how
the
big
MLS
it would
team.
be for MLS if they beat someone
yeah.
with that?
But that's
It's going to be a pedestal that they will use, and they'll have ads for it.
forever in an actual competitive game.
Yes.
This one MLS
With this star
team,
player,
Chelsea,
yes,
or
with these star players we beat.
Yeah.
At Man City and Chelsea and Liverpool, or and Real Madrid and everything.
besides those games, any of these other games that are randomly played on a Tuesday at noon, I could give an F about.
Correct.
Sorry, but I'm gonna agree with that woman.
Yeah.
So that's the FIFA Club World Cup that starts this Saturday and ends July 13th.
The kicker too with the MLS teams is the more you advance, the more money you start the backlog, and you can use for new training facility updates towards your academy. Obviously the league will keep some as well, but there are very much incentives for MLS to go kick some people in the mouth and not play nice and show that they can compete because there's an incentive.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it's been sorted out fully yet, but the MLS plan and the clubs plan on keeping a lot of that money and not sharing it with the players. And the players are like, wait a minute, there's like $1 billion in prize money, and you're telling us we're not going to get any of that?
Yeah, the Players Association.
They're changing that. It's happening. I like the comments that are coming in here, guys.
Yeah.
Please keep throwing them in there. Appreciate it.
The ex-Gunners going to the Real versus Pachuca.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
That could be interesting because that's another one. Liga MX wants to prove stuff, and that's Spanish, rivalry there. That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, there are going to be some good games, and they are going to count. The fact that my team hasn't been invited, I'm a little pissed off. Why did a team like Chelsea get in? Why did a team...
They had to win something. They won Conference League or something, didn't they?
Oh, but that was last
What did they win the year before?
They won that this year. What did they win the year before? Nothing. They didn't even get into. They got into Europa Conference League. Woo!
Okay. I know some teams actually won things to get in, and I wonder. Whatever. There was something probably in the past they won. They're like, you qualify.
What did Inter Miami do to get in?
Oh well, they won.
They won the lottery to win Lionel Messi's signature.
Yes, but no, they won. Was it Leagues Cup they got in it for, or it was something, or Supporter Shield, or it was one of the things they won.
But not the overall championship or the U.S. Open.
No, Seattle won the Champions Cup that year to get into this.
It's like,
and then LAFC won the playoff game.
They
between
had
Club
to get
America.
Lionel Messi in there. Now tickets have been slashed. They were up in the hundreds.
They're like $20 a person now.
Yeah, they were $300, $400, $500, $600 a person for the
People
high
are
up
like,
seats. Now they're like $20.
Yeah.
So hey, don't get me wrong. It's a chance. If there was a game down the street or an hour away,
sure,
I may go for it. Yeah. I may go, but not anymore. I think
they really screwed it up. Like, should have went cheap to get people ready for World Cup the next year and to see these players. Because it's an experience. It's an experience that a young person, a young player, a young kid, boy or girl, and then a very, newbie soccer parent or family can go see and get an experience,
All right, well, we'll put a bow on that one because the FIFA Club World Cup is a money grab for everybody involved, in my opinion. All right, we got a couple of news and notes before we finish it up here. We're not going to go long tonight, so we'll be right back right after this.
I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because to be honest, I'm getting a little older and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zach here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injuries. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep. Sorry, Doc.
All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What's wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord. All right, couple of minutes left. We got a couple of things we're going to get to. Go ahead and throw your comments in the chat here, guys. Would appreciate it. And while you're at it, do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription. We very much appreciate it. And big thank you to our partners. Big thank you to Soccer World. Big thank you to Next Level Training. A big thank you to Michigan Jaguars. Big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. Big thank you to one of our new, old, but back and new partners and sponsors, Dog and Pony Show Brewing. We are next Wednesday, 1 week from today. We will be at Dog and Pony Show Brewing doing a soccer trivia.
Yeah.
Soccer trivia night, 7 o'clock, Dog and Pony Show Brewing in Oak Park.
Yeah.
Think you know the game? Get down to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. I can't wait.
Prizes and giveaways.
Yeah, lots of prizes, lots of giveaways. And also, if you are a coach, director, or anybody involved in a soccer club, hit up the North American Soccer Expo here in Novi, Michigan, August 1st through the 3rd.
Diagonal from our studio. Suburban Showplace.
And across the street from our studio will be here. Newly announced special guest, friend of our show, good friend of our show, Mr. Alexi Lawless, making his appearance at the North American Soccer Expo here in Novi, Michigan. So we'll be having a beer with him, I'm sure, and talking to him. So that's it's going to be fun. All right. Let's jump in. Let's talk about the news that's coming out. Thomas Frank is on the brink of becoming the new Tottenham coach. He'll be leaving Brentford. The rumor is that Tottenham will be paying £10 million to Brentford to bring Thomas Frank across the way. I think this is a really good hire for them. They just need to give him time.
Yes.
They need to give him time. 2 years is a good amount that they gave Ange Postecoglou, and they went backwards, but they did win a trophy. I will say that. But I like the hire. The man knows how to work on a budget. He's been at Brentford. He knows how to buy low, sell high. He knows what he's doing. He can get the best out of players. He's got a really good core of players at Tottenham. So I really do like this hire, and I think it is worth the $10 million.
Okay.
As you heard us say earlier, Jack Grealish and Kyle Walker have been left at home. They are not traveling with Manchester City to the Club World Cup. Essentially, Jack Grealish and Kyle Walker, you've been told to go find another club.
I think Kyle Walker screwed the pooch at AC Milan.
Yeah.
That could have been somewhere where he could have got a nice contract to end his career.
He'll find somewhere. He's 34 years old, though. Yeah. Just played for England yesterday, by the way. England lost 3-1 to Senegal. The first time they've ever lost to a team from Africa. Yeah. What a game that was, by the way. Entertaining but embarrassing for England to lose like that.
Jack Grealish to Italy.
The rumor is...
It seems like all the guys that are getting there are going to Italy.
The rumor is Italy or Spain.
All right. I could see that.
Is looking, and I believe he will end up there. Shirky is on his way from Olympic Lyon to Manchester City. That is a Fabrizio Romano let's go, done deal.
Yes.
That is a hell of a buy. That kid is a baller. Watched him play a couple of games this year, especially those ones against Manchester United in the Europa League. Man, oh man, that kid can ball out.
Mm-hmm.
What a buy. I think with that signing, a couple of the other signings that Manchester City are making, they could very well be back at the top of the perch of the Premiership.
I think I don't know if Big Gunner was referring to Grealish or Walker. If he's going to say Arteta will snap him up, laugh out loud, or it's Cherky. I don't know which one.
Oh, Shirky's already gone. He's off the board, I believe. That's a done
So I'm
deal.
guessing Grealish. Or
Grealish? Ooh.
Another midfielder, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Liverpool targeting PSG star Barcol and Newcastle forward Isak. They've already spent 150 million on Florian Wirtz. It'll cost about 150 million to get combined to get these two out, so they could be spending 300 million. As you said, Brooks, very un-Liverpool like.
It wasn't
But
Klopp
they're
did.
splashing the cash right now, man.
What are they doing with that analyst they used to like AI to break down stuff and whatnot?
Yeah.
It was supposed to buy players that are affordable and not overspend.
And news from the last couple of days, David Raya on his stag do with his friends heading out to Las Vegas. This is what they made him dress up in. He's dressed as an air stewardess on the flight over, and he's handing out drinks and snacks.
Did he lose a bet?
Oh, no, so this is what they do in England. On stag do's, the guy who's getting married, they make them dress up in funny outfits.
Oh, he's getting married.
He's getting married. It's his.
Is this Emirates? I imagine.
Yes, it does look like
Is there
Emirates.
sponsored by
Yeah,
Emirates?
it's his bachelor party, right? So his stag do is a bachelor party.
Oh,
So
wow, it'd be kind of funny. Like you're just sitting there on the plane. Hey, David Raya.
David Raya, can you get me a drink? I'd like Bud Light, please, or Corona, or anything stronger. So this is David Raya on the flight from England over to Las Vegas.
That's
and As
awesome.
you can see, his friends are like, "No, you got to dress in this, and now you got to hand out the drinks." So
Did you ever wish you could be on a flight like that, where
Oh
just
my God.
randomly it's just like I didn't know I was on the same flight as you.
yeah, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? That'd be cool.
You gotta fly more.
Yeah. All right. So this Monday, the TST, which is the soccer tournament, the 7v7 TST, wrapped up. Bumpy Pitch won the men's division in what was that, like quadruple overtime? They went down to 2v2, essentially 2v2 and a goalie.
Yes.
That was crazy. The U.S. women won against the Bumpy Pitch women's team in the women's final. U.S. women won 3-0.
Yeah, no shocker there.
No shocker there. They were by far the
I just
best
think
team.
they're going to be the dominant team until like another country, like France or England, put in a team or something.
The attendance for the year was up 23% overall, which is awesome. I mean, it's growing. It's only in its third year of existence. Brooks and I have been watching it for 3 years now. Phenomenal. I don't get to watch it a ton because I'm at work or doing other stuff with kids, like my kids' soccer, but like I watch as much as I can.
Yes.
I love it. The only thing I don't like is Brooks in the final where it was like 3v3, 3 and a goalie versus 3 and a goalie.
Yeah.
Passing back and forth, passing.
It wasn't the final. All of them get that when they're advancing into the knockout
They're
round.
afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
There was they were playing against, who was it? What was the name of the team they were playing? They beat Alabama.
Puma State, Alabama.
Puma State, Alabama. There was a really good player, a little heavier set player from Puma State, Alabama,
Yeah.
number 22 or 17, I can't remember.
Yes.
Now. He got the ball at around the top of the 6-yard box in the corner.
Chances to shoot.
And if he could have just settled it and shot really quick, he would have had a great. I mean, it was a great opportunity.
Exactly. But they kept swinging the stupid
But he
thing.
didn't. He pulled it back because he was afraid if his shot got blocked,
Exactly.
it would have gone backwards, and then his team would have been the other team would have been on a counterattack.
Correct.
So he's afraid to shoot.
Yes.
There is no incentive to really go at the game.
Yes.
They're just waiting for people to make mistakes. There was almost 20 minutes of just passing.
It was boring.
Oh, we turned it over. Passing.
I had the idea to fix this.
Oh, they do need to fix it. Okay. Brooks, you had some changes that you would like to see made.
The one big change.
Go for it.
Okay. So this is going to come from the Premier League lacrosse rules that they've implemented to change what the college was doing.
It's a good thing you didn't tell me pre-show that you were going to go with this, because I would have just wrapped us up there.
You would have.
Let you finish.
You probably would have, yeah. So what they did is in the professional lacrosse league, they've implemented shot clocks. So like you have a shorter shot clock in certain parts of the game, and then when you have like full possession, when you win it off of like a turnover or whatever, you have a longer possession. What they need to do with target score time is institute a shot clock. You got 30 seconds to hit that thing on goal. If there's a rebound and you maintain possession, you get another shot clock. Let's say you win it, you build out of the back, you get 45 seconds, but once you get across, at some point, maybe it goes down to 30 or something or whatever. But they need to do a shot clock where and figure out what the right time is and everything. So they just can't keep doing this thing of passing the ball back and forth, waiting for the right shot. Like, we need intensity. Like that, it's so great. It's 7v7. Everyone's going at each other. And then when you get to target score time, it's just like,
It goes boom.
it's
stop.
dull.
Oh.
Like, it hits a wall. And I'm like, it's exciting, but then it's not.
They're all afraid to make a mistake in target score time.
Exactly. And this is what, like, this is $1 million. Like I will say this. Non-EFC, they do it, but I will say Nani does go for it when he has it.
That's
You
because
know
he's
what I
a
mean?
soccer player, loves to create and score goals, right? And that's what
Exactly.
you want to see. Brooks, the shot clock idea, I hate it, but absolutely love it because that's what's
It
needed.
forces them to do something.
Forces them to do
And
something.
they need to attack and dribble at each other more.
You have to, man.
Yes.
You have to attack space. That's what soccer's all about.
Yes.
That's what's ruining kids' soccer here in America at the moment is
Right.
kids aren't attacking space and aren't attacking defenders. They're going, oh, a defender. Oh, my God. Hold on. Let me pass the ball backwards because that's what my coach has told me to do. And that, I was bored. The game, I loved the game until it got to target score time, and I went, oh, my God.
The game should
Oh my
not
God.
almost be the same exact time as a full 90-minute match.
Right.
Because that's what essentially almost was.
That's pretty much what happened.
I mean, it's two 20-minute halves. So there's the 40 minutes. And then within 10 minutes at least, that's when things should end.
I agree.
It shouldn't go another 20 to 30 minutes.
Yep. Oh, well, here's what it is. It was enjoyable while it lasted. It'll be back next year. You know, I'll be watching it again. Hopefully they implement some things. They do make changes every year. They do go back and watch games, and they do take feedback, and they make changes every year to make the game better. So that's awesome.
Yes.
I like that they do that. They're not rigid, I love it. So congratulations to Bumpy Pitch, the men's team, and U.S. Women, the women's team.
Yeah.
They are $1 million richer.
Yeah.
because
The
of
women's
this.
team's donating that all to charity.
Ah, man, that's awesome. Good
Yeah.
for them. Well done. Well done to the women's teams.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up for this Wednesday night. We very much appreciate you watching. Again, do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share. And if you're watching listening on an Apple podcast or any type of podcast, whatever your podcast platform is,
Spotify.
give us 5 out of 5 stars. We'd appreciate it. And leave us a comment. We'll try our best to get back to you. But yeah, follow along. We appreciate it. All right, that's going to wrap us up. We'll talk to you later. Cheers.
Cheers.